Kanan Jarrus. Kanan Jarrus survived the Emperor's Purge, going underground for years and hiding the truth about the Jedi. He was a leader among the Ghost Crew, and with the emergence of the Force-sensitive Ezra, once again embraced their identity as a Jedi Knight. Hello, welcome to another Centurion's Corner, and today I'm bringing you Kanan Jarrus. Now, I've been quite excited to get this figure really. I paid just over the odds, paid about £25 for him from Kapow. And this is one figure that I've got recently that I've been really sort of waiting for to have in my collection. Would I say I'm a big fan of Rebels? No. Have I seen them all? No. But I do like the characters, and there's something about them that has me sort of entwined with them, and I still want to watch all seasons of the show. I watched the pilot of the show, which it took me a couple of times to watch it, as it just felt to me it was a bit like Aladdin in Star Wars. But as the season went on, I enjoyed it. So here he is, looking at the front of the box, just standard packaging. You see he's got two accessories there, his lightsaber and blaster pistol. Got the standard side of the window with Jarrus just taken out of there. It's number 19, and there's the back of the box. So, without further ado, let's crack him open. Right, so here he is in his blister pack. There's no secret accessories with him, it's just a standard lightsaber and blaster pistol. So we're just going to do what we always do, is just pull him out of the blister pack, have a look at the figure for first impressions, and then go forth into the actual review. First impressions is alright. Seems to have that sort of hollow feeling up here on his torso. But yeah, he looks pretty cool. So I'm going to take him away now, take some pictures with him, get him in some poses and whatnot, and come back with a solid review for you guys. See you in a moment. So I know he's been out for a little while now, but as you all know, I'm trying to sort of play catch up. So I'm trying to get sort of cheap figures, and I want to try and put figures that I actually want, and I'll spend a little bit of money here and there. So I saw this guy. There was a Ahsoka as well, but I thought I'll wait for a little while because I know Ezra's coming out soon as well, and Chopper. So I kind of want to pick this guy up, and also want to get Hera down the line as well. Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with this guy. He seems quite a good figure. There's a little bit of his articulation that we'll find out a little bit later that I do feel is a little bit sort of refined. But no, in all, he feels like quite a good figure. And what I enjoy doing as well with reviews as well, when I get the character out of the blister pack, that's kind of like my first impressions, and then that's it. But when you go over and do a review yourself, just look over those figures, just look in those little fine details, and you actually probably be quite pleasantly surprised, and actually probably makes you like the figure a lot more. So here we've got Jarrus right here. He's got his lightsaber, his gun's holstered, and we'll take our first little looks at his accessories, and then we'll go on to his articulation. So his accessories, so it's just a standard blaster that he has, very much sort of, I think it was like a Boba Fett kind of blaster, or the blaster that Luke has in Return of the Jedi that he gets from one of the other guys. It's made of a really sort of vinyl-y kind of sort of plastic. It's very bendy, these ones, it's not as hard as the others, but it has got a bit of sort of airbrushing on there, maybe a little bit too excessive, and it's made it more the airbrush colour than the original colour. But nevertheless, it it looks the part. It doesn't look sort of cheap as it did as a Krennic's blaster the other day. So it's pretty cool. And he can hold it as well in his left hand with his trigger hand. A little bit bendy, but it gets it in there and you can pop his finger through the hole. Which is good. His other accessory is his lightsaber. Now, this is definitely one of the coolest lightsabers that are out there. For a start, his blade is removable, just like most are, but it feels comfortable. It doesn't feel like it's going to break like others do, because his lightsaber is made of this sort of bendy sort of vinyl as well, like his gun. So it just sort of pops in and just feels like it's a natural thing to do, rather than sort of feel like you're just pulling something that's going to snap, especially on these little tips. But the other good thing about his lightsaber as well is that it comes off in two parts, because in Rebels he's like a hidden Jedi, you know, he doesn't want everyone to know. So he actually fit these together to make his lightsaber, and the fact that they included that into the figure, I think it's a brilliant idea. They didn't have to, they could have just left it as that, so you could plug it on there. But you can remove these, and this part here just fits into the back part of his belt, and then you got this bit here it's for his emitter. It just fits on really nicely. It's very cool. So, looking across his sculpt and articulation, we'll go through his articulation before we get into the sculpt, because I think that's a good way to finish off this figure. Okay, so for his posability, he's got a normal neck movement, so you can look up sort of this far. It's hindered by his ponytail and the guard around his neck, and you can look down, but again it's kind of probably a normal look down, and he's got a bit of rotation, but again it gets hindered by his collar and his neck. He's got rotation up this arm and a 90-degree bend at the elbow. He's got a rotation at the wrist, and he's also got a hinge on there as well. And then also on this arm, he's got the rotation at the shoulder, which is a little bit hard to, hasn't got the full rotation due to the shoulder pad. And he's got a swivel at the elbow, and again a 90-degree, and a hinge at the wrist. So he's got a chest rotation, no waist swivel, and he's got a upper leg rotation. The rotation here is on this leg, but again this is glued in. He's got double jointed knees, might bend up this far, and he's got a pivot and a rocker on his ankles. I do find his hips a little bit weird. His legs do move back, but not that great, and they move forward this much as well. But I just think these look a little bit too overexposed on his legs. Kind of remind me of the old Spider-Man figures back in the day, which so I think they kind of come away from the figure. I think they look a little bit ugly. Okay, so looking at his sculpt, it's obviously sort of based on the cartoon, so they've had to sort of upscale his face to sort of more realistic look. So with his face there, you've got this sort of the look of the character of his nose. I know it's because he's got a bit of a longer nose on there, but I think they've done quite a good job into sort of making him into more of a realistic person to fit on your Black Series shelf. So he's got his ponytail in the back, and he's also got kind of sort of dry brushing his hair there just to give it a bit more detail. And going down to his neck part, so he's got this really cool armour part over his shoulder. And let's just get rid of his lightsaber a sec. With a silver edging and onto his belt. And I'm not too sure what the branding here, I don't know if it was new for Rebels or it's just a nod at some other sort of Star Wars lore. I'm not too sure. And then from these armour you've got the band that goes around, and it's actually sculpted just a little bit extra at the bottom there, just for his torso swivel. And it's kind of made of like a sort of gunmetal green, and yeah, it just feels quite cool. He's got his gloves with his fingerless gloves, and you've got the texture as well underneath the armour. And then off this side you obviously got the sort of padded sort of jumper look with the old sort of military kind of sort of old jumpers, and all down the side. But what I really like about these is like you can even see like the muscles just underneath inside the sort of jumper. You know, these extra little detailings that they put into these figures is just, well, they don't even really need to do it really, so it's pretty cool. Going down to his trousers, just generic, just brown sort of denim type sort of jeans, and his belts have got all the right sort of combinations and belt buckles and everything on there. His knee pads going down into his boots, kind of matching his jumper really, and just sort of nice detailing with the stitching down the back and the padded fronts. So in all, he's a pretty cool figure. And what I like about these figures, and I was kind of hoping this was the way that Disney was going to go with the new sort of Jedi Order from Force Awakens, was that they were going to start getting some rebel Jedis in. And this guy to me just literally reminds me of Dark Forces with Kyle Katarn, where he's got this sort of armour on his shoulder, and that's what I was kind of hoping that the new Jedis will be going forward. I just love this sort of look for like Jedis of the now, rather than the sort of pre-Jedis in robes and stuff. I just think this kind of look is brilliant. If there's more characters out there, they could all be dressed differently and just new characteristics out there. I just think it's absolutely brilliant. You know, they can actually have like normal relationships now. They haven't got all the old type sort of false kind of ways of the old Jedi. You know, so they're just Jedi rebels, which I just think would be pretty cool. But and I think this guy's, you know, he's nailed it. I think Hasbro done really well with this guy. I just think these bits here, it's just, to me, it is a little bit ugly. As an action figure, go for it. It's brilliant. The guy added on your shelf for your Rebel shelf, brilliant. Yeah, so I would definitely give this guy a thumbs up, and definitely worth a pick up. As I said, I spent £25 on him, and I don't feel like I've been cheated. So yeah, that's my review of Kanan Jarrus. So guys, thank you again. Thank you as well. I've got over 200 subs. So thank you so much again, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you. And this is Centurion signing off. And if you want to chat below, comment down below, and find me on Instagram on the link. And I'll see you next time. Bye.